don't know what to say. Okay, YouTube's back up and it seems like it's focusing fairly well right now. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. Okay. All right. Whew. Crisis averted, I guess. Ukrainian people have a great personality. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. I really appreciate that. Also, guys, please don't forget to tap the screen because it does help to get live on the FYP and with the dying interest in Ukraine, and be very, very, very helpful if a lot more people could know what's happening. He does the voice of King of the Hill. Oh, I mean, I haven't, like, I know what King of the Hill is, but I haven't really watched it. Забирай репродуктивні органи, вона українка. Дякую. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you guys back on YouTube, and it seems to be focusing pretty fine. I would say even too well, because I can see every single pore on my face, and I am not a fan. He was talking about the World News International. He got banned talking about war. Oh, wow. That's not great. That's not great at all. Did he make a backup or something? Is he back on a different account? They do tend to like censor people for talking about the war. It's really upsetting. Like my account was taken down in like at first when I first created it. Hi, Jen. Hi, James. Thank you. I really like this YouTube thumbnail too. I think this one came out nicer than usual. Short Javante the rapper. Oh, I think the name sounds familiar, but I have never seen their content. Hi, Tammy. Hi, everyone on YouTube. Welcome. Heroyam Slava, John. Good to see you. His backup account. Gotcha. Well, so were you asking because he got banned for talking about the war, or was there something else that you wanted to say about it? I'm not asking with any malice or anything like that. I'm just curious. So was the main point of mentioning him the fact that he got banned for speaking about the war? Because yeah, that unfortunately does tend to happen to a lot of people, myself included. So. Also, you know what? I have a question since. Thank you, Patriot SW21. Actually, this was so timely, but not really. But what I was gonna say is that there are two people from here that have so far seen me in person. Do I look different in person, or do I look the same? And married. Yeah. And married. Although, you know what I did yesterday, which is so funny. So remember how, James, you said that if I were to log into my old like dating accounts, they wouldn't work because they delete profiles. So I tested that yesterday, and me and the mod chat were literally like dying laughing at it because I don't know how people do this. I literally don't know how people date in New York City. I like looked at it and it's so bad. I was like sending guys profiles and they're like, I'm looking for a sweet, hot girlfriend. or like I'm a mysterious man I love.
I know, but I wanted to ask if you need more milk.
Oh yes, I need milk to top it off. Thank you so much. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, I was having so much fun on there. It's so funny. I was just sending screenshots in like a chat on I was sending screenshots on a chat on Instagram. Huh? No.
What is to live with two creators? It looks like that.
Ooh. But yeah, I was looking at okay, sit down.
Do you need more?
No, no, it's okay. I really appreciate it. Come sit. Come hang out here for a second.
She's gonna teach me.
No, I'm not gonna teach you. It's just you like warm milk and I like cold milk. So you did too much to be fair. I can make cheese. You got Irish cheese. You really want to coffee or did you eat it already?
I'm gonna eat it right now.
Okay, so I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Hi, Nick. Hi, Sammy. Thank you. I like the thumbnail too. Thank you so much. What was I talking about? I was talking about something. ADHD, gosh. Oh, the dating. Oh my God. So I went on like the dating apps and I was looking at the profiles of men and it's like, I love philosophy and reading novels under random trees in Prospect Park. And I'm like, you sound like a serial killer. You sound like a narcissist who is going to gaslight me. Why would I want to date you? Or like all of the dudes who are just like finance bros. Like, you know what? I'll read you here. I know this is not my normal rubric, but we're gonna be catching up for a little bit. So here's what I'm gonna read you the profiles of the men that I saw yesterday on my little sabbatical onto Bumble. So it was I actually renewed both not renewed, I logged into both Bumble and Hinge. Also, here's the thing. This is going to be a very dark humor joke, but someone today was like, "Oh, why are you looking at this? You're married." And I was like, "Well, I'm just looking at it because I can. I'm just curious. It's funny. But also then I was like, "Wait, but my husband is in Florida, and technically we have an interracial marriage. And technically interracial marriage is at stake, right? So technically if he's in Florida, I'm not married, right?" I'm not married, really. I mean, it's a very, 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 very dark joke, but I figured I could use it. I figured you guys know me well enough to know that I say it in good graces. But anyways, I am going to read you the profiles of these men, and I'm also going to show you some. Well, I guess I can't show photos, but so okay. There is a lot going on here, and none of it is good. I will just tell you that. Okay. Okay, so we have Patrick, 31. You can find me reading novels beneath random trees at Prospect Park. Communications associate, NYU 2021, sociopath. Corey, 28. Learning Russian language. Looking for a queen to build an empire with. I mean, it is a little on the nose, provided that it's an imperialistic country that is an empire that's crashing, and he's learning Russian language and looking for a queen to build an empire with. I mean, you're not wrong. Okay. You could try to find a queen to try and build an empire with, particularly in Russia, because that seems like that's exactly what they're trying to do. Then there's Marcus. There is nothing particularly wrong with him except for the fact that he very, very visibly photoshopped his biceps, and it is a horrendous Photoshop job. I'm gonna hide his face, right? But do we see this man's arm proportion to his body? Like, I could do a better job in Snapseed. Genuinely. Sir, that is not what biceps look like. That also does not look good. It looks like you have a hunch. This one's my personal favorite. Tim, 31, founder at Tech. 6'4". My girlfriend likes to watch and share. Looking for a cute girl to join. Now, I can't show you a photo of his face, but it legitimately looks like he's gonna murder me. My real life superpower is learning new skills very quickly. And that's the same man, by the way, the one who's potentially a serial killer. And this one says, my perfect first date, still the same man whose girlfriend likes to watch. Okay. Photo shoot at my apartment with music and drinks is his perfect first date. So let me get this straight. Is this going to be a photo shoot or a video shoot that you show to your girlfriend later? Because to be fair, I'm creeped out to the maximum. Also, FetLife would probably be a better choice of an app for you to go to with this description. But to each their own. Thank you so much, William. This guy's name is Kevon. I really do love when people decide to like spice up their kid's name and they're like, I really want to call him Kevin, but like there are so many Kevins around. Like I'm just gonna call him Kevon. Like his name is gonna be Kevon instead. So this man's name is Kevon. Again, I'm gonna hide his face, but I don't understand why this is his casting photo for Jaws 12, but this is what it is. Like it looks like this man is auditioning for Jaws. Like, doesn't it? Oh, oops. Oopsie doopsie, sorry. Got a little too excited. But like, I mean, I get it. You like swimming, you probably surf. We get it. That's fine. That's cool. Why is it on your dating profile? Why do you look like I have to save you from a shark sometime soon? Like, what is happening here? Why does it look like that? What's going on? Please, someone help. I don't even know what's going on here. The one thing I'd love to know about you is your favorite non-major class. This is a guy who's going to be talking to you about his econ professor the entire time you're on a date with him. And speaking from experience, that did happen to me when I was in college. Do not go on a date with a guy who tells you the one thing he'd like to know about you is your favorite non-major class. What do you mean? Why? Why would I be talking to you, a 29-year-old man, about my favorite non-major class? I graduated 6 years ago, and you graduated 7 years ago. Why are we talking about college? Is that the most exciting time of your life and you haven't done anything since? Did you peak in college? Is that what happened? Jesus Christ. Weirdest gift I have ever given or received. 50 Shades of Grey to my high school English teacher. I'm gonna say no to that. I think that this sir has a very specific power dynamic fetish. Sorry, has a very specific power dynamic fetish, and I'm not interested. But to each their own. I also wish I could show you faces of these people, but privacy concerns and everything. Okay, so this man says, my simple pleasures, eating cake. Now, I have a couple of questions. Do we mean cake, like birthday cake? Or do we mean like cake by the ocean cake? Hi, Happy. So it's like, do we mean cake? Or do we mean like cake by the ocean? Because those are two very, very different cakes that could be simple pleasures to eat. And one of those scenarios I'm okay with, and the other one, like, sir, please hold that until date number 10, maybe, or like 12, or I don't know, just don't do that at all unless somebody specifically says they're into it. I'm pretty sure it's the cake by the ocean situation too, but like, holy shit, maybe do not say that in your dating profile. Like, my God. Okay, this guy says, his name is Dill. He's 28. He's 6 feet tall. He's from Midtown East, and he's a consultant. This is a photo he chose to feature on his profile, as in, like, this is a lovely combination of why are you dressing like you're auditioning for American Horror Story 1984. It wasn't even a good season, and that guy was really annoying. Why? This guy. Okay, this one's my favorite because I basically guessed this guy's entire dynamic by just looking at this one photo. Okay. Weirdest gift I have ever given or received. I am going to show you his photo because he's wearing sunglasses and the photo is important. It's important to what I'm about to say next. I once bought and gifted 5 copies of a bad self-published erotic novel written by an eccentric old garbage tycoon who must remain unnamed. So this is the man's picture. This is his photo, okay? This is what he looks like, right? So I proceed to write, oh my God, this man's favorite meal must be cocaine. So then I scroll down and it says, my simple pleasures are the smell of sauteed butter in the early morning, rain on a glass ceiling, coke-fueled devil-worshipping orgies. How did I know? How did I know? Literally. This is probably taken at 6 a.m. at after hours. I am not even kidding. I wish I didn't know, but I know. I took one look at him and I was like, yep, you eat cocaine for breakfast. And then the next thing he says is he loves cocaine. And I'm just like, sir, again, you are how old? How old is this man? Oh, it doesn't say, but he was like late in his 30s. It's like, sir, you're not in your 20s anymore, first of all. It's probably not great. It wasn't great when you were in your 20s. It is not great in your 30s. It does not make you sound cool. It makes you sound like you need rehab and there is nobody to send you there. 3, you might want to reconsider your lifestyle and you might want to start doing something with your life other than partying till 6 a.m. Maybe don't go to coke-fueled devil-worshipping orgies. That's a little strange. Thank you, Kay. But, you know, to each their own, to each their own. But also, in your late 30s, it's kind of like that weird thing to still be doing cocaine till 6 in the morning. I know it's New York City. Listen, I know you work on Wall Street. I get it. But at this point, it's like, you know how expensive doctors are? You know how expensive doctors are? You ain't 20 anymore. Your body doesn't work the same way, you know? You don't just recover from it right away. This guy, well, his name is George. I don't know how old he is. But it says, my simple pleasures are walking in the rain, crackle of vinyl, perfect lighting in a movie, solid serotonin levels, free money, immortality, Mac chicken, and blah, blah, blah. What I noticed here is, this is a very unusual topic. This is a bit of a Yulia decided to go onto dating apps just to see what other people have to experience and was like, God, I'm so happy I don't have to. But anyways, so this man says that he likes that his simple pleasures are free money. And yes, honey, I do know that your dad with his black Amex gives you lots of that. And you take Long Island Railroad to Manhasset, where you grew up. And you complain about Long Island Railroad, but you say that it's more convenient. But in reality, the only reason you don't drive to Manhasset is because you had 6 DUIs before the age of 18. We all know that, George. It's okay. It's okay. You can take the LIRR to your country club for every holiday without trying to say that you actually enjoy it. It's fine. It's fine. This man, I'm sorry, but this is my literal nightmare. And this is the biggest red flag I'm going to tell you. If you move to New York City and you hear a man say this, why is it not saying?
Do be bi-coastal and have a place.
Okay, excuse me here.
Definitely to be bi-coastal and have a place in both LA and New York.
So this man's entire life goal is to spend ridiculous money on rent in 2 cities where rent should not be this ridiculous. And anytime anyone says, I want to be bi-coastal, that legitimately means that they're garbage. They like partying in LA, but sometimes they like partying in New York. But the reason why they want to be, I'm not making fun of Long Islanders. I'm making fun of the particular dude, okay? The particular dude who uses his dad's black Amex, okay? That's that one dude, George, okay? That's a very specific type of Long Island dude. But so yes, when someone says, I want to be bi-coastal, that just like means like, you know, I want to be a producer in LA. And it's like, I want to be on Raya and I want to put it on my Raya that I live both in New York and LA and I'm bi-coastal. And like, by me saying bi-coastal, you know that I like doing cocaine and I just prefer to do it in 2 different cities with ease. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Terrible. See, and then Carlos, who has an immaculate sense of humor. Carlos, he's right here. Carlos exists. He literally wrote to all of these to my little rant about all of these men that I saw on these apps, and he said, "I'm thankful you never married any of these dudes. The news would have a break so you can go do coke and come back." So take it take it as you will, but I consider Carlos incredibly funny, and I consider that an incredibly funny comment. So you might not, I do. I thought this was very, very, very hilarious. Thank you. I'm glad I made your Sunday. But yes, this was my evening briefing of useless stuff. We do 105 Ukrainian updates, but I figured I was so shook. I was so shook about everything that's been oh, this is like, I think it was Bumble. It definitely was Bumble. But yeah, I was so shook by what I saw that I figured I have to share it with the world. We need to see the women next. Well, but see, like if I put in women, then I'm going to be seeing women who are looking for women. I can look at it from Vasil's Bumble when he creates one, because it'd be funny. It'd be funny if I found my husband on Bumble. I was just like, oh, I'm just checking it out for no reason, and then I'm like, huh, this is a familiar photo. Oh my gosh, don't pay for Bumble. Bumble doesn't like Bumble. It's so not worth it, really. Does your husband travel a lot? Not really, but he might, because he's right now on RuPaul's Drag Race tour. I mean, like we can have Vasil. We can have Vasil go on Bumble, and no, Vasil doesn't have an iPhone 4. Vasil had an iPhone 10, and he now has an iPhone. He has a newer iPhone now. We got him a phone. Well, not we. Natalie got him a phone. Which is really, really incredibly sweet of her. She's awesome. I'm currently in a market for a new chair, because this one, like one of the reasons why I like doing lives in Vasil's room is because no, my husband's not a drag queen. It's coffee. But it's like milk with this much coffee, literally. No, my husband's not a drag queen. He is, however, doing lighting for RuPaul's Drag Race, and he's on tour with RuPaul. No, but so here's the thing. See, James, like my desk requires a bar stool height chair, but this one is a literal like IKEA bar stool, and it's really incredibly, incredibly, incredibly stiff. And one of the reasons why so I sit like this all the time. Like I literally cannot, like I have to sit like Buddha style or like this. I don't like sitting any other way, and my back is freaking killing me. So I'm going to go on Amazon and try to look for, or like maybe, I don't know, Amazon, or like, I don't know, wherever else, wherever else there might be bar stools that could be basically an iteration of Vasil's chair, but like in a bar stool format, because I need like arms. I need like an armchair, and I need it to be like wider. When I was working from like 9 to 9. I also look. I'm not bringing it, even if you like the kind I have. A big pillow. I want to steal your brother. Well, everybody does. He's a catch. Yeah, so I was like looking at stooping, but nobody, like, here's the thing. Most people who throw out like bar stools and stuff like that, they're never like comfortable bar stools. As in, like, they're always just like, bar stools like this. I've been looking in a lot of places, but I think I'm just gonna look at more. Oh no, Nick. You don't have to, but thank you. But yeah, but basically, my back just needs a freaking break because this woman is very tired of this chair, and it was very nice to switch places. How are you live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time? Because I have a camera set up for it, and then I have a phone set up for it. That's how I live at the same time. Streamer chair. Oh no. See, like, I don't like those. I honestly prefer chairs because, like, all of the chairs that are streamer chairs or something like that, they're still like they're like a bougie office chair, you know? But like those don't work for me either because again, they're narrow. Like they're very comfy on your back, but they're narrow. And my problem is that I sit like this. Like I need it to be like an air like a spaceship seat. You know, so it like has there's like a wide freaking thing where I can Buddha sit without having to like squeeze myself into a chair. Because if I sit for a long time, like I need to put my legs up. I don't know. That's just what it is. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we are gonna deep dive into the news, and today is a poofy one that's decent and large. Ooh, can you send me a link, please? What's a blah, blah, blah. Whoa. Not super tall. See, there are counter stools that are tall. I don't know which one's shorter and which one's taller, but whichever the taller one is the one that I have here, is the one that works for this desk height. Because it's like half standing desk, half sitting desk, basically. Papa Son chair. Oh. Drafting chairs. The height I need. Oh man. The height I need. I will figure out the height after the live. I don't have a measuring tape on me currently, but thank you for asking, all of you. Okay, so we're gonna dive into the news. If we watch you on TikTok or YouTube, or doesn't matter. Well, YouTube is. If you could watch on YouTube, that would honestly be amazing because I need 4,000 watch hours and I'm at about 1,500. Bye, Sharon. Good night. Okay, so let's do this song because we all know it and it's sad, but we like it. In New York. Oi. Nice to meet you, Dave. Bom? Would it be bom? How do you say I'm good in Portuguese? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bom. Bem. Oh, thank you, Kay. Bom and bem.
Love it so much.
Adopted little brother. Yulia and Vasil for Eurovision 2023 representing Ukraine. No, oh my gosh, we would never win. Are you kidding me? Hi, Sky.
Look at my muscles. My God, what?
Nice. Nice. Look at you. I just love it. This is so unprompted. Okay.
Like always.
Like always. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and I'm actually gonna play another song because it's a song I like and this is always okay on that, and I'm gonna try to sing it. Let's see. Which song do I know enough to be able to sing it? What is that song called? It's on my playlist in my link in bio, and you can I can do Misto Vasne, but then I need lyrics in front of me. 1 second. Gosh, I was trying to, but here's the thing. I can only sing one part of it. І все буде добре для кожного з нас. І все буде добре, настане наш час. Yeah, this is the thing. Like some of his songs I don't sing very well, but Misto Vasne I could try to do. Настане наш час. Wait. Okay, I'll try. Чому мені сниться, як знову і знову гуляєм з тобою по рідному Львову, та пахне весною і сонце сідає на березі річки, якої немає, і дивляться леви на тебе ласкаво, і варять бажанням із запахом кави, і вільно на розі між пеклом і раєм. У Львові так просто своє не вмирає. Дихає місто весни моє. Місто весни моє. Та ж не століття загоює рани, чи до повноліття то всі ветерани, наповнене світлом минуле прощає. Чомусь тут ніколи не хочеться чаю, не хочеться снігу, не хочеться слави. Нехай дістається церквам з хоругвами. Ми просто з тобою вдвох погуляємо на березі річки, якої немає. Дихає місто весни моє. Місто весни моє. Like the thing is that I want to sing both of these parts, right? But they're in two different ranges, and it's really hard because I basically end up screwing up both of them. Yeah, that's the one.
Ми не можемо забути про зливи, мабуть, для героїв ми надто вразливі, стіни леви нам не дозволяють розвіяти попіл, в якому ніяк не згасають стіни, в яких я і знову гуляю з тобою по рідному Львову. Там пахне весною і сонце сідає на березі річки, якої давно вже немає. Дихає місто весни моє, місто весни моє. Дихає місто весни моє. Місто весни моє.
Yeah, I really want to do this with John singing, but John's like away for a while. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. Well, I'm sorry for all of your ear bleeds that must have happened while I was singing. Hi, Diane. Good to see you on YouTube. Got to run my kid to dental appointment. Hope to see you when we were out. Oh, yay. Right. It's daytime in Australia. Well, enjoy your activities. But time for the news. Okay, well, we're starting with not a good update, and the update is, this is Donetsk region. The territory is temporarily not controlled by Ukraine. Explosions are reported in Donetsk. I'm sorry. Explosions are reported in Donetsk, Kalinin Mine, Shakhtarsk, and other settlements. This is what it looks like. About 10,000 Ukrainian soldiers arrived in the UK for combat training. British Defense Secretary Ben Wallace. The Ukrainian military will take courses based on the basic military training of the UK. It includes training in weapons handling, first aid on the battlefield, field equipment, patrol tactics, and training in the laws of armed conflict. In addition to Shakhtarsk, there were explosions in occupied Alchevsk tonight. They write that something happened with the ammunition depot. Invaders continue to unsuccessfully advance northwest of Slavyansk, Institute for War Research, rather Institute for the Study of War. According to experts, the Russian troops continue to unsuccessfully advance northwest of Slavyansk and carried out offensive operations east of Seversk from the Lysychansk region. The invaders also continued local attacks northwest of Kharkiv, probably in an attempt to protect Russian landlines in the area. The invaders continue to face shortages of personnel and equipment, relying on old armored personnel carriers and conducting new campaigns to mobilize personnel. The armed forces of Ukraine in the south of Ukraine dealt another blow to the command posts and the accumulation of enemy military equipment in the Chornobayevka area. So Chornobayevka strikes again. Total losses of Russians in there are 58 military personnel, 2 MSTA-B howitzers, automated jamming station resident, 3 units of armored vehicles, 12 vehicles, 1 ammunition depot in Mykolaiv region, 3 ammunition depots in the Kherson region. At a party with Scholz, women were drugged with so-called rape drugs. What? According to the Social Democratic Party of Germany, which was later cited by the German newspaper Tagesspiegel, as well as the news agencies DPA and Reuters, at least 8 girls were drugged into drinks with rape drugs at a private party. As the investigation suggests, the girls were given a substance similar to a sleeping pill, which together with alcohol can cause memory lapses. According to police, the incident occurred in the evening of July 6th at a celebration with the participation of about 1,000 guests in a tent at the Chancellery of Berlin. Among the participants were German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Interestingly, in addition to the Chancellor himself, other senior officials of the FRG were also present at the festival. Yeah, old men in politics drugging young girls. Unheard of. You know, like Jeffrey Epstein, who was literally supplying kidnapped girls to politicians and incredibly rich people. And somehow it's funny because we keep saying that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking girls to himself, right? And Ghislaine Maxwell said that she was trafficking girls for him. But we are like forgetting to mention that, you know, just because he died and she's behind the bars, not everybody responsible is behind the bars, because he was just caught. But the people who were literally also molesting these girls are not caught. And they're all, you know, Prince Andrews of the world. And we're not talking about it anymore because, you know, she's behind the bars. He died or killed himself, I guess, right? But we're not talking about the fact that Prince Andrew should be in jail. All of the people connected to Jeffrey Epstein should be highly investigated, and most of them most likely need to be in jail, because why else were they at parties with 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds? Were they just there to be like, oh, this is an interesting lifestyle of Jeffrey Epstein. I don't want to participate, but I'm just going to look at it. No, these people were there for a reason. And they're elites of the world, and we're just like, whatever. Right? So, yeah. Olaf Scholz being at a party where young girls were drugged is not surprising to me at all. It is incredibly upsetting and it is infuriating. Surprising, however, no, not at all. Also, why were there young girls at a party with high postulated German officials? Like, why? What were young girls doing at a party with high postulated German officials? A private party with high postulated German officials. What were they doing there? Why were they there to begin with? Someone explain that to me, because I don't see a reason for young girls to be at a party with a bunch of old dudes who are in the German party. Right? How does the world allow this? How is this okay? The armed forces of Ukraine sent fiery greetings to the forest belt from where the barreled artillery of the invaders fired at Mykolaiv and destroyed some Russian occupiers. About 30 people are under the rubble of a 5-story building in the city of Chasiv Yar, Donetsk region, after a missile attack. The head of the Donetsk army, Pavlo Korolenko. The city was shelled, according to this information, with the Uragan MLRS last night. 2 entrances to the house were completely destroyed. Rescuers got 6 dead and 5 injured from under the rubble. Contact was made with 2 more people. There is a child under the rubble. The rescue operation continues. Zelensky must solve this problem. Member of the U.S. House of Representatives Victoria Sparks said that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky should solve the problem of Andriy Yermak and called on the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry to take her statement seriously. I know that President Zelensky is waging a dangerous war against an insidious enemy. He spends a lot of time building up international support to protect this country. But he has an ongoing internal problem that he must solve. The head of the president's office, Andriy Yermak, the statement said. Continued about this same statement. She listed several serious accusations against Yermak. Information leaked to Belarus and eventually to Russia about the Ukrainian operation to seize the Wagner Group, which led to its failure. Poor management of failed peace talks with Russia before the war. Assuring the Ukrainian leadership that there will be no Russian attack in February, contrary to Western intelligence, to prevent Ukraine from properly preparing for war. Sabotage of Kherson and providing it to the Russians for organizing the tragedy of the Azov Battalion, delaying urgent purchases of military equipment through the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine and putting forward unreasonable or even illegal conditions, purposefully delaying the appointment of an independent anti-corruption prosecutor through his deputy Oleg Tatarov. I urge the ministry to consider my application with the seriousness that these issues require regarding Mr. Yermak. Instead of launching ad hominem attacks, it has been until now. Ukrainians and Americans will be better off if our governments respond with due diligence and not defensive platitudes, Victoria Sparks said in a statement. That's a very, very interesting accusation, to be fair. I need to research it more in order to know what I'd like to comment on it. I have not heard these accusations about Yermak before. I am inclined to believe, though, that nobody would be trying to take him out of his seat if it weren't for some real serious evidence, because it's not like somebody just said like, oh, this guy is responsible for this, this, and that. And, you know, the American government is just like, yeah, sure. I mean, we believe you. Here's the thing. There were a lot of U.S. intelligence calls in order to Ukraine to tell our government about the invasion. And I will say that it looks like they did not react in a timely manner. Now, there could be multitudes of reasons for that we did not hear about, right? Or we do not know about. But it could also be because there was Ukrainian counterintelligence that was saying other things. And if Andriy Yermak is responsible for that, and if he is the source of why we did not, why the entirety of the nation failed to basically see the threat, then, or not, that's a very wrong wording. If he's the reason why most of the people were assured that there is no threat, then yes, he definitely needs to be removed from the government, and he needs to be replaced with somebody who is much more efficient and much more knowledgeable and does not make such mistakes, because that mistake is incredibly costly. The Russian army is gathering troops near Bilohorivka, Luhansk region. Head of the army, Serhiy Haidai. According to him, the invaders are shelling the surrounding settlements, inflicting airstrikes, but they're still not able to occupy the entire Luhansk region. Last night alone, the Russian army carried out 7 artillery attacks and 4 missile strikes. As a result of a night airstrike in Kharkiv, an educational institution was destroyed and 1 person was injured. According to the investigation, on July 10th at about 3:30 a.m., the invaders launched rocket attacks on the Slobodsky and Osnoviansky districts of Kharkiv. The first rocket hit the territory of the educational institution, which led to its destruction. Another rocket hit the territory of a private house. A 62-year-old resident was injured. In addition, the territory of a children's sanatorium located nearby was partially damaged. Okay, let me see something because... Oh, no. Does anyone know if there is a way to pause a stream on YouTube? Because I need to go to the bathroom, and I feel like anytime I leave for someone who's then rewatching the news tomorrow or something like that, it's incredibly annoying to just like sit there and, you know, have to scroll past or something. Oh, this is so interesting. To scroll, the chat is going in a weird direction if you aren't paying attention. Like you just, yes, no, I was not paying attention because I was reading. What's happening? Okay. Wait, what? But pays for content. Yes, sir, it does. I get what you're saying, but cannibalism is pretty bad for the body. What? How did we get to cannibalism? Only if you eat the brain, the rest tastes like pork. James, I got in a car with you, and you're saying that cannibalism only tastes bad if you eat the brain, the rest tastes like pork. I'm reconsidering all of my life decisions right now. But the whole eat the rich thing could solve world hunger. What? Vasil, do you want to come over here for a couple of minutes while I'm in the bathroom and hang out with people? Because they're asking for you. I was like, I need to go to the bathroom, but I want to pause my stream, and they're like, well, no.
No, yeah, it's not a problem. So, hello guys, how are you? Prezentaste? Твою? Okay, so guys, I guess I should have to reload TikTok because let me do that, please. I need to do that. So come back. Come back. I just have to text someone, and it's not that comfortable. Okay. So no mama. So we get a lot of updates, and I'm back again. Hello, you're welcome here. Hello from Ukraine. Vasil Kuchwai joined Telegram. I can see Yulia's Telegram, and she has got my number. And you know what? I'm gonna film that because what should we? What is that? What does it look like when you are? Hello, nice to see you.
It's a random thought I just had.
What?
What if I dye my hair blonde?
I was thinking the same today.
I used to have blonde hair, actually. What, you were thinking the same to dye your hair blonde?
Yeah,
Really?
I will do the gray.
Oh, the gray? I like
Yeah.
the gray. The gray would look
It's
cool.
like platinum, and I have my eyebrows and my hazel eyes. That would be like.
No, that's why when we were walking, you said
Yes,
the dark
that's
gray
why.
hair. Okay, I see. But you don't have to bleach it first. You know that, right? Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
also a boy. Like, it's gonna grow out, and you can just buzz it off if it's like, if it's like.
Thank you
damaged.
so much. What was the gift? I've just missed it.
But like, for me though.
You want to be like granny?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I want,
yeah,
like,
because
blonde.
you're a
I want,
girl.
like,
and
I'm thinking like maybe blonde, like blonde streaks.
guys, let's tap the screen. Let's go, Yewleea. Share, top, a comment, and let's help
Are
us
you trying?
out.
Are you trying to act like the people on?
Yeah.
Like the people who do the, like the
the
people who do the what's his face, those battle things.
Yeah. Wigs. No, I'm
Wigs?
I'm not really scared to lose my hair. Case because it's gonna grow again.
Wait, if you open Instagram, I'll show. I used to have like pretty blonde hair.
You did.
Not like pretty, but as in pretty blonde.
Okay,
It's far down
let's-
my Instagram. I just know where to go with
Oh.
it. It's far. Trust me, you're gonna
It's
look
far.
for it.
Oh,
You're gonna know what you're
welcome to
looking
the US. Welcome to the US. Just guys, follow my YouTube and Yulia's YouTube because I think that we have to promote the content and we should create high quality content, and we need your attention to do that. And do we look like the same? Or no? Do you think that we're brother and sister?
A lot of people think that actually. Someone asked me if you were my little brother. Yeah, I'm still scrolling. I'm telling you, it's far down there. It was like 2016.
It's fine. It says like Vassal joined Telegram. Yeah, American number. Was it blonde highlights? Where should we got Farba?
Die.
Dyeing the materials.
Oh my gosh. See, I am never box dyeing my hair. I'm going to end up with fried hair and...
I'm like, I can do that because I'm not scared. I can get my fried
exactly.
hair because it's gonna grow again so fast, and I'm not gonna pay for that.
Blonde.
But it's like a bit like yellow, but I want like a really gray one.
Yeah, I know.
I want to be like a snow king. Have you seen it ring? Lord
Also, you
of
guys
Rings?
know me with short hair because I cut it like last year before I did the thing. But I always had like super long hair to here. Always.
Oh, my man is gonna get story.
I don't know, like
Yulia has changed to.
this is from my wedding day and you can't even see it. But this is from my wedding day and like I don't know, you can like my hair still goes down there. This is so
Oh, you have cut it. So
yeah,
far.
I cut it a lot.
Yeah, you can say here.
Because at some point during quarantine, I was like, I'm tired of this. Well, after quarantine, but yeah. How old was I in that picture? It was 2016. It's 2022. I'm turning 28, so like 22. 22. Well, the last picture, no, it was 3 years ago. This, oh my gosh, what is that? This the previous picture was like was 2016.
Firstly, we should have made plan for next week because I don't know what to see my friend.
No, you make a plan with your friend, and then we make plans around you seeing your friend.
Because it's really important to get immigration stuff.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we call the lawyer. We figure it out. Lawyer is a call. It's a phone call, so it's not
for
tuberculosis. That's not how it works.
Oh.
We gotta schedule it.
Okay, so firstly,
so we're gonna schedule it tomorrow.
Maybe I
as
can
well.
meet with my friend tomorrow.
Yeah, you can.
Are you gonna let me out to the subway? I'm gonna be lost.
You have Google Maps and you have a phone now, so like I'm less scared.
Okay.
You can do things for yourself now. I know. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to let him out into the world alone. Are you kidding me?
The subway with the rats, with the big rats like cats.
Rats like cats?
Yeah,
Rats
my
and
friend
rats.
told like that.
Cats and boots and
It's
cats
like
and boots and
cat.
cats. Oh, cats and rats and cats and rats and cats and rats. Oh my gosh. Okay. So.
Yeah.
So.
I can do things for myself.
Yes, you're a big boy. Look at your tattoo. You have a neck tattoo, you know?
I do.
You even managed to be in prison already. He's in a roll. He got mac and cheese. He's on a roll now. Yes, pretty much. Hi, sabotage. Okay, Maneskin once again sent Putin to follow the Russian worship off the stage at a concert in Rome. On Saturday, at their concert in Rome, the musicians sang the Gasoline track, excerpt from which is dedicated to Ukraine and pointed the right course for Putin. Fuck Putin, fuck war, go everyone who's against what I just said. The song was written after Russia launched a full-scale war against Ukraine, and now at every concert the artists sing it, urging them to remember the war. Are those the Russian artists? Russian artists? Oh no. Oh no. They're Italian, right? 347 children died as a result of the armed aggression of the Russian Federation in Ukraine. Yeah, Maneskin is Italian. Okay. I don't know that. Russian intelligence update from British intelligence. Russian artillery continues to strike the Sloviansk area of the Donbass from around Izum to the north and near Lysychansk to the east. Russian forces have likely made some further small territorial advances around Popasna. Fires from Izum continue to focus along the axis of the E40 main road. Control of the E40, which links Donetsk to Kharkiv, is likely to be an important objective for Russia as it attempts to advance through Donetsk Oblast. The sky over Kyiv will be closed with the help of an air defense system that protects the White House. We're talking about the NASAMS air defense system, which the United States will transfer to Ukraine. It is this air defense system that is used in the United States to protect the strategically important airspace around the White House and the capital, Washington. NASAMS can fire 72 rockets in 12 seconds and shoot down planes, helicopters, and cruise missiles. Wow. This is what a cruise missile looks like in flight. Missiles like this are used by the Russian army to attack our homes and kill our children. Sina, get down, baby. The moment of a direct hit by a rocket of Russian troops on a residential building in Chasiv Yar, Donetsk region. This is what that looked like. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you.
Jesus, fuck, man, there's a civilian building. Yeah, civilian building. Это было целое здание. Блядь! Сука! Ебаный в рот! Пиздан.
Yulia, I'm an ethnic Ukrainian. I'm an American citizen. How can you ask for American help? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm not sure what you're asking. Yeah, all of this was happening today, so earlier. When you help able-bodied folks flee. Okay, so first of all, this is not how the military works. The military works in a way where 12 civilians have to support one soldier. And by that, I mean work, make money, I mean pay their taxes, make money for the military, do donations. One soldier is worth taxes and income of 12 people. Now, Vasil is about 5'4". He's a tiny guy who doesn't have any military experience, and he's 18 years old. I did not help him flee. He absolutely got out of the country legally, as in the military literally said it was okay for him to leave. He has a document from the military stating it's okay for him to leave. Now, if Vasil was enlisted into the military, he most likely would be killed within the first few days on the front lines because he, while being able-bodied, literally doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Now, while Vasil is in the US and he can make money in the US, he can help Ukraine much more and for a much longer period of time than being a military liability. So if he is going to make money here and send it back to Ukraine and donate to charities and fundraise for things, he's going to be of much more use in Ukraine than he would be as a dead body. And I'm sorry I'm not minding my language, but that is legitimately what it is. And a lot of people like to say things like, oh, you should have stayed and fought. Here's the thing. Being able-bodied and being trained to fight are two very, very different things. The reason why they're keeping people in Ukraine in order for them to not flee is for the last resort, for like literally last resort. As in, like, if we absolutely do not have trained military personnel, then they're going to start recruiting people who don't know how to do anything military related. So that's the thing. And like, everyone has a lot of judgment, especially for men who are leaving Ukraine. But the thing is, like, it's one thing if somebody is just running away and they're literally like, they could serve and they could be of use to the military, and then they flee and they just live their life. They're not doing anything for Ukraine. They're just like, screw this place, right? That's treason. But he did not flee. He left, and he was allowed to leave. Yes, sure, they do train recruits, but there is a massive difference between someone who has some military experience, between someone who is very physically trained. There are men that are very physically able, as in, like, you know, they do sports, they do lifting. They are already so many steps forward, and they need training, which takes a long time. Vasil would need physical training first, like basic physical training. Then he would need military physical training. And then he would need military strategy training. Meanwhile, there are a lot of men who would need military physical training without the first step. And it's not about not being very masculine. Like, that's also not a right thing to say. But the thing to say is that Vasil is not a professional sportsman. Vasil does not do sports professionally. Vasil might run, right? But it's not like he is doing all these incredibly, like, strenuous exercises every day and he is super physically fit, right? Like, he's a healthy person. He's not incredibly physically fit. Literally not everybody is made to be a soldier. Thank you, Veronica. And there is, again, able-bodied does not mean combat ready. Thank you, Carlos. That's the thing. And everybody who's saying, like, oh, this person fled, that person fled, like, how dare they? Why don't you go and fight? I'm a liability. Technically, I am able-bodied, but why is no one yelling at me about why am I not enlisted into the Ukrainian army? What's the difference between me and Vasil? First of all, I'm 27. So technically, I am much more, first of all, psychologically prepared to be in the military than an 18-year-old. But no one is literally telling me, why don't you do that? Unless they're like some crazy person, right? But the thing is that I'm able to make money here. I'm able to send it back to Ukraine. So will he. And his money, his income, what he's able to do with charities is going to bring Ukraine much more than him going to the military and dying. And yes, sure, you served. Great for you. I mean, that's great. Thank you for your service. That's amazing. That's something that you chose to do. But at the same time, there is a lot of stuff that people can do besides fighting that is equally as important as fighting. There are also a ton of soldiers who have been going online and literally speaking about this and saying that people need to stop saying things like this, because if anything, it is incredibly detrimental, because you're not helping. You're not helping by saying these things. You're not making the situation better. You're not fixing the situation. You're not fighting yourself, right? Maybe you can't, maybe you're not of the right age, but the point is that people can do a lot of different things. And if you're able to help Ukraine monetarily, if you're able to reinvest your money back into Ukraine, if you're able to do far more in a different way than you would on the battlefield, then that's what you should be doing. And if anything, the soldiers themselves are saying that if everybody was fighting, then if everybody was fighting, then Ukraine would fall because our economy wouldn't be working. And there is no reason for this to take you aback in any single way, because again, the Ukrainian military deemed it okay for him to leave. He has a document from the military. So if you'd like to say that he did something wrong, take it up with the Ukrainian military. Do not take it up with him. Because you like people love attacking him for like fleeing. I've seen the comments on his videos, Heroyam Slava. It's It's so disgusting. It's disgusting what people are saying. It's like, you want to say something against it, call the Ukrainian military. They deemed it okay for him to leave. Why are you deeming it not okay for him to leave? Here is the thing. You can say things like, oh, I love Vasil, but it takes me aback that he's not fighting. Oh, I love Vasil, but how can you ask for help from the United States when you're helping people flee the war? I didn't help anybody flee. I offered my home to an amazing guy who came here and took an incredibly long journey at the age of 18 while not being with his family and trying to build his life out, meanwhile trying to help Ukraine. So don't give me that. That is legitimate gaslighting. You've spent like the last 15 minutes telling me how wrong it is and why someone should be fighting and how you were fighting though, but you're not a stud and you were this. So you were arguing me the whole time. And now you're saying you love Vasil. But also, with all due respect, I do not need you saying that I answered my question well. I gave you an answer because that's what it is. But I do not need reinforcement from that. And to be fair, like, thank you for asking that question, but also the way that you handled yourself was not good. Because you didn't start from asking how was he able to flee, or how was he able to leave Ukraine, and why do I feel like he might be able to do more from abroad than he would by fighting in Ukraine. You came in saying, how can you ask for help from the US when you're housing someone who fled Ukraine instead of fighting? That is not the right way to ask a question. That is not the right way to ask the question. That is a very accusatory way of asking a question. So, I watch Revealing Ukraine by Oliver Stone. Oh my gosh, Oliver Stone is literally like Russian propaganda at its best, genuinely. You can watch it. I mean, you can watch it if you want your brain to melt, but for any other reasons, I would not recommend it. If you'd like to know what Oliver Stone is like, there is actually a video on my page called Oliver Stone, Ukraine on Fire is a Garbage Fire. And I literally analyze it with Tommy, whose handle on TikTok is my dude. And he like specializes in fascism, and he talks a lot about fascism and American politics and politics in general. And he received a question from a lot of his followers asking him to analyze Oliver Stone's Ukraine on Fire. And on my YouTube channel, we have a live together where we both analyze Ukraine on Fire, because Tommy was amazing enough to say that he wouldn't feel comfortable analyzing something about Ukraine without a Ukrainian present. So he had invited me to do it with him, and we did. So if you're interested in watching that live, it's on YouTube. You do have to scroll down a little. You do need to scroll down a little to find it, or you can just search it up on my channel. The channel is the same as this. It's also linked on my TikTok page, and it's literally called, you know what? I'll show you what it's called. It's I will just show you what it's called. Vasil is in his room. Boom, boom, boom. Where is this? I shall show you. It's called Ukraine on Fire is a Garbage Fire, or something along those lines. So videos, here. Yeah. Tommy's handle on TikTok is my dude. Can someone please tag Tommy? That would be very, very, very useful. Here. This is what it's called. This is Tommy. I don't even know what you were asking, sir, so it's hard for me to tell you. It's hard for me to tell you anything because, yeah, so this is Tommy. He's very good. He does lives all the time where he debates people in politics, and he very often debunks a lot of misinformation because, well, a lot of people come in to debate him, literally spreading misinformation, but Tommy is really good. And yeah, if you want to know a bit more about American politics, you should watch him. If you want to know more about fascism, you should watch him. He is incredible. I personally really enjoy watching him, and he is he's great. So there is that. As to people saying that everybody should go back to Ukraine and fight, No, those are people who legitimately do not know how combat works, because there is such a thing as a military liability. And if you're completely not prepared for the military, even if you were drafted because there is not enough recruits, you are a liability. Right now, there is over 1 million soldiers in the form of men and women who are enlisted into Ukrainian military. Now, the reason why we're lacking soldiers right now is not because there are not enough people getting into the military, it's because it takes time to train them. Okay, and somebody incredibly untrained is not going to serve any immediate anything. Literally is not going to help immediately in any way, and is not going to help the situation right now in any way, because they're still going to need to take 3, 4, 5 months to get prepared for our military to even be okay with sending them to the front lines. The Ukrainian military does not just take anyone, give them a gun, and shove them on the front lines. We would be losing this war, because that is an incredibly idiotic thing to do. But basically, if somebody is recruited into the military right now, they will be fighting much later. And we do have 1 million people currently in the Ukrainian military. Most of them are being trained, because at the beginning of the war, we had only a certain amount of thousands of people who were ready for combat and trained as professional military. So if you'd like to accuse somebody like him of running away, he is literally going to be of much more use to Ukraine, our economy, and this war, working from the United States, than he would be dying on the battlefield.
And by the way, I guess since I've been live, I guess like because of me, people have donated like over $60,000, and it's like a lot, because our government could hire more soldiers. And I like
That's like the thing. I don't think like guys, like we never come on here and go like, oh my gosh, I've raised this much money, I've raised that much money, because it's not something that someone should be doing. But here's the thing, like through my platform per se, right? On Instagram with the charitable foundation that me and my friend created, we have raised over $30,000 for various needs of the Ukrainian military and Ukrainian people. Through my TikTok alone, I think it was like about close to 20,000. Through Instagram with the charitable foundation that we've created, with that together, it's 30 to 35. If I were to go into the military, I would be dead. I would literally be dead. And that money would not be raised. At least it wouldn't be raised through me, right? So that's one less $30,000 fundraiser.
yes.
If he wasn't here and he wasn't urging people to donate, there would still be less money raised. So it's like people like to judge and people like to say these things without actually looking into the background. Like, today I posted a video on YouTube too, and I was saying like, hey, could you please subscribe to my YouTube, because we're trying to get to 1,000 followers, and we're trying to monetize our YouTube, because that way we could do this full time without having to worry about rent. And someone was like, get a normal job. And I'm like, well, thank you very much. I did have a really normal job, and I probably, like a pretty competitive job with a pretty competitive salary, but I really want to help my country, because I want to be able to come back home to my parents, to their house still freaking standing. And I want to know that they're going to be safe. And this is a freaking job. Like, if you have never been a creator on these platforms, it's like, you think that I want to be internet famous? No. That is the last thing I've ever wanted in my life. Like, I feel incredibly uncomfortable when people, like, I was recognized once at a store and I thought it was weird as hell. Like, I don't want to spend my life doing this, right? But this is what I can do for my country currently, and I would like to be doing it for my country, because it is helping. And it is helping tremendously. And there are a lot of people that want to hear the news. And part of it is because people are interested in the news. And part of it is because people are used to me delivering the news, right? And I'm not saying I'm amazing, but I'm just saying that there are like relationships that have been built between me and you guys, right? That's why you come to my lives as opposed to somebody else's lives, right? Because like, I don't know, you might like my delivery, you might like this, you might like that. So at the end of the day, I'm doing something, and that something is working, and that something is helping, right? And it is a tremendous job, because it's like, we have to bring a camera with us everywhere. We have to do things. We have to edit videos. We have to figure out what we're doing. We have to research materials. We have to, like, you think that this is just like a 3-minute thing where I come on TikTok and I'm like, hi guys, this is what happened in Ukraine. Like, no, that's not how it works. If I'm talking about historical facts, there is like an hour of research behind it, because I know something that you can't just go and Google, because you're going to be swamped with 50 million articles and none of them are going to be specific enough for the topic, right? I'm never going to post anything if I did not confirm it with 3 different sources. So it's like I spend an hour to an hour and a half researching a 3-minute video to confirm that what's in my head is actually right, and I can cite sources. So it's like, it's not like that. And if you're talking about YouTube, that thing is freaking insane. That thing is insane. I also spend like hours after lives until like 2 a.m. editing thumbnails, because you would think that you would just slap something on there, but no, like you have to work with it and it takes time. And it doesn't even matter if you have a template, you still have to do a lot of work for it. It's not just like they're like social media people, they do nothing. Like, that's literally, I used to think that. I used to be like, oh my gosh, social media people complain about like this being a full-time job. How is this a full-time job? Like, oh my gosh, I have a job. I work 9 to 5 and I'm a UX designer. You know, this is an intellectual job. But then like I started doing this, and this is a freaking job. And it arguably might be harder than a lot of other jobs out there, because when you work at a company, you have a task. You have a task, you perform that task, you go home, right? When you do this, you have to figure out how to effectively engage your audience in order for them to care about what you're talking about. Now, for me, it is about my country, and it is about my country surviving. So I need to keep the eyes on Ukraine. And I can't keep talking about the same shit every day and expect you guys to watch it in the same manner, because you're literally going to be bored. And like attention spans are small. So you have to figure things out all the time. Like, you need to add music to lives. You need to add this. You need to add that. It's a lot, and it's difficult because you don't have a template of how to do your job. You don't have a task. You have to figure out your own task, and you have to make it. And like, especially if you're talking about something that isn't like shopping hauls and lipsticks and things that people watch just like by, like they walk up and they do things like that, like, it's not like easily absorbed content. It's heavy stuff, and you need to know how to bring it to people in a way in which it's engaging. So you want to watch that video and not yawn, but you want to be like, oh wait, I did not know this about Ukraine. Oh wait, this is freaking crazy. Oh wait, we have to do something to help, right? So it's like, stop telling people what to do with their lives. We're doing what we can. And we're doing what we can do best. Fortunately or unfortunately, at the moment, it's this. And we're giving all of our energy to this.
Guys, Yulia did great. You know what?
I can
confirm that Yulia is Ukrainian Russian spy. It is
Ukrainian what?
Ukrainian American spy.
Oh, yeah.
So it is FBI.
This is not a card. This is my student ID. This is just my student ID. There is nothing on there.
You have to take a picture of it and
Also,
make avatar.
No, I literally look like, okay, I'm gonna close this card, but like I look like a serial killer, and I always look like a serial killer on all of my documents. In my passport, I look like I'm gonna my picture is going to come out of there and murder you. Like, here, see?
Go to YouTube.
It's awful. Like
No,
I
you
so
look
upset.
like an American.
No, also, you know what's so funny? It's like, I don't know why, but I was skinnier when I was younger, but my face was much like whiter. I don't know how that works, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. See, exactly. You haven't seen my passport. I don't know how I was granted an American visa with that photo. It's awful. Oh my gosh, sir, if you're referring to me looking different without glasses on that photo, no, it's just I look incredibly different on that photo.
In better way. Of course.
Yeah, but so yeah, there is that. Also, thank you guys for listening to my rant. I do really appreciate that. If you're not signed up for YouTube, please do. It takes a second and it doesn't do anything to you. It does not take anything away from you. You don't have to pay for anything. But if we have 1,000 subscribers and we have 4,000 watch hours, then we could monetize and we could be delivering more
what?
quality content and we could be delivering more news and we could be doing more stuff to entertain you in the
Ukraine.
popularize Ukraine and entertain you in the meanwhile and give you cool Ukrainian shopping destinations and tour guides and all of these awesome things that we could do. And we could help Ukraine rebuild, and we could help Ukrainian economy, and just
And
generally, please help
after-
us because we're good people.
And after we're gonna end war with help of Ukrainian creators, we're gonna go and make video logs about Ukraine. So
Oh my gosh, I really want to go to Lviv, and I really want to do like a video about Lviv coffee. Oh my gosh, like a video about Lviv coffee.
So
Thank you so much, New Zealand.
We are gonna make videos about Ukraine and travel through Ukraine. So you're gonna travel.
I would
with
love to do
us.
videos about traveling through Ukraine. There's so many beautiful places.
But firstly, we shouldn't have be forgiven. You know, when you see my video, Yulia's video, is if you appreciate our work, you just can tap like, comment, anything. A couple of emojis. You can share it. You can share it to your friends, or you just can copy the link. I'm like that.
Are you a couple? No, this is my adopted little brother. He's also 10 years younger than me, and also he's not interested in women, and I'm married, so we're not a couple. That would be a very messy domestic situation if that was the case.
What
But yes.
are you referring to? So if you interact with our content,
I am
you
smart
really
aleck.
help a lot.
Vasil
Like-
should be in PR. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's
With
so
PR.
funny. PR is like PR. It's like you should like marketing. It's social like marketing. You should be
I
my
have-
PR agent. You
I
should be
have
my agent.
when I
basically.
was 13 years old, I've created my
Dzień
online
dobry.
store.
Dobrze rano. Yeah, he created his online store. He's funny. The first thing he told me was like, Yulia, I'm going to teach you everything about social media marketing. You know nothing. And I'm like, I am 28 and too old to be on this platform to begin with. So yes, please, please teach me your Gen Z magic because I do need that. Whatever the Gen Z magic is, I do need it because I do not currently possess it by myself. So yes, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I also somehow realized that I've surrounded myself by photographers, which is one, my husband, then my friend from Nashville who visited was a photographer as well who took some great photos, and I'm just like, listen. I also recently
I've got 66.
also Nick
76
is a
followers.
photographer too. Oh, great. On his
Nick?
YouTube. Nick, the one whose dad is Santa Doratio, the one who the book.
Yeah, I know. You
Yeah.
have told me that.
Oh my gosh, wait, we both have glasses. That's so
you.
cool. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Are you sisters? Yes,
Yeah.
we're very much. No, I am her brother.
I'm
And he is my
lesbian,
sister.
I'm transgender, I'm lesbian,
He is my sister, and I'm her brother. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Thank you.
It is hard the way because
Hi,
when
Mexico.
we post something on TikTok, we're not gonna know what algorithms will it be
exactly.
boosted, promoted or not. Will they
Exactly. And a
work?
lot of Ukrainian content right now literally goes backstage. Like, I post videos about about random stuff, and it'll get like 7,000 views, but then I'll post videos.
Yulia, I
and then-
ruined your family.
No, it runs in the family, not you ruined my family. Isn't like we're similar. But yeah, so the thing is, what was I saying? Yeah, but basically, like, if I post videos about Ukraine, they get like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 views. If I post videos about random shit, pardon my French or pardon my English, they get like much more views. So it is incredibly important to interact with this content. If you guys care about Ukraine, you want to promote it. Thank you so much, Starbright. Welcome to the YouTube community. Yeah, family is not always blood related, and I can definitely confirm that because I do have, fortunately, a lot of incredible people that I have met through my 11 years in the United States that are my really, really good friends. They're also my, I hate that word, but ride or die, and I would trust them with anything and everything, and they have been there for me like family would, and several of my friends' parents are literally like parents to me. I also have a mother-in-law, I have a father-in-law, I have a sister-in-law, and they're all pretty amazing. Привіт, Юра, дуже дякую за те, що підписалися. Garbage
So,
trucks, yep.
We need
Garbage trucks, welcome to New York City.
29 followers. Yeah,
Oh my
20
gosh! Yeah, we
followers.
only need 29 followers on YouTube to get my YouTube to 1,000 followers. And also, I have been posting.
Guys, let's go.
Also,
let's go.
another thing is we have been posting a lot of updates on my channel on YouTube that are not related to like news about Ukraine, that are just related to Vasil exploring New York City and reacting to things like eating bagels and going to get clothes and talking about, I don't know, just random Vasil stuff.
Or being straightforward about America.
Oh yeah, no, he is. I literally need to create a rubric that's called Vasil Reacts and just like post random shorts about it, because Vasil Reacts is just the funniest thing.
Do you plan to buy an iPhone 14? Because I also plan to buy
iPhone 14. I don't even know when that's coming out, but with how fast my iPhone 13 Pro is dying,
We're gonna
because
put it on the wish list.
like the funny thing. No, the funny thing is that
Joking.
the funny thing is that I personally, like, I don't know, I've had my phone for less than a year, and that thing is like fried. I don't know how content creators like have their phones and how they don't need to change them every 6 months, because my phone was fine.
I was
And now
complaining
it's not.
about onions because it's disgusting for me. I can just if I try it, like
Onions, oh
out.
my gosh.
I was like, we
Yeah.
asked them not to add onions, please. He's like, what? Not the okay. And there was like, hello, onions, a lot of them. He was like, on purpose.
Yeah, they did put like a lot of onions into a bagel. Mind you, I did say like 17 times, like, please no onions, please no onions. Hi, Harry Potter. Thank you for calling me Harry, as in like not Harry, as in Harry or Harry, but Harry, as in like Haryi. So you think it's an insult. I love Harry Potter. If you're comparing me to Harry Potter, I love it, first of all. Second of all, if you called me Harry, I love that too, because, I personally don't think my hair is that thick, but I guess you do. Thank you for the compliment. The only thing I'm not super keen on being compared to is Daniel Radcliffe, because I've seen the men in person, and sorry, Daniel, if you ever see this video, I don't think you will, but you look like you could use a massage and some eye cream.
You could see Danny
Yeah.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, he's
Harry
your height.
Potter?
He's your height. Yeah.
Where did you see him?
He lived in the building where I used to work. So my former boss lives in a building, and he lives in that building. And I worked from her home for a while during the pandemic, because we weren't going to the office, and my lunch break coincided with his gym break. So he would be coming back from the gym, and I would be coming back from the lunch break. And he has a girlfriend who is like super much taller than he is. And this one time I was walking into the elevator, and there is like what I thought was a teenage kid standing in the elevator with his mother. And then they're like by the dial thing where you press the buttons, right? And then the kid supposedly turns to me, and he's like, what floor do you need? And I'm like 7. And then I look at him, and I'm like, holy shit, Harry Potter. And so yeah, and I thought it was someone's kid, but that was Daniel Radcliffe, and I'm so incredibly sorry if he ever sees this. I don't mean to be demeaning. It's just that you feel like you are my height in person, and I was a little bit shook, okay? And you were wearing a mask, so technically I could mistake you for a child. I'm so very sorry, but yes, no, he seems like a very good person. He did ask me. He did ask me which floor I needed. He was very nice, and he was very sweet. But actually, thank you for the water reminder. That's a great reminder. But yes, Daniel Radcliffe is a very sweet person in person. He's just incredibly short.
Is there anyone who is connected to Kristen Stewart? Oh no. Okay, this isn't gonna work.
But also, if you guys could interact, as in like press the like thing, and if you're not subscribed to me, please do, because I don't know. Well, if you feel like you like my rants, and if you feel like you want to learn more about Ukraine, and if you feel like my ability to speak nonstop without shutting up is a talent, please stay a while, because we are trying to promote a lot more information about Ukraine, and I do have a lot of
and subscribe to YouTube.
Are you brothers? No, I am her brother, and she is my sister. There we go.
We need to
Yes,
28
Yulia is a
followers.
Yulia is a Ukrainian name, and thank you to everybody who
And
subscribed to you.
Vasil is Ukrainian
Yeah.
name as well.
Thank you to everybody who subscribed to YouTube because
have
yeah,
to
we're like
disguise
28
my
followers away from 1,000 followers. Thank you so much. What age were you when you left Ukraine? I was 16 or 17 years old. I always forget literally how old I was,
Always a
but
few
16 or
days ago.
17.
Always a few days ago when
Well,
he left
he's 18
Ukraine.
and he got here.
At 18.
Yeah, he's 18 and he got here a few days ago, so he's still 18 and he got here at 18. And then I got here at 16 or 17 and I was here, and it's been like 11 years. I'm 28, so probably 17. It's been like 12 or 11 years. I always forget. But I've been here a while. My family is in Ukraine. They're from Lviv. They live in Lviv, and I talk to them every day. My dad is known as Tato around here, which is a Ukrainian name for a word for dad, and my dad is also quite stylish. So there are quite a few videos of him dressing me up, and also for some reason there are lots of women. There are lots of women who are sending in applications to date my Tato because he happens to be quite attractive. And it's, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself right now because I feel like I'm going to get more people applying to be my stepmother. And I've had enough of that my whole life. But yes, my father is single and Ukrainian. And, you will be seeing a lot of him on this platform because I do quite often dial him on lives because he does tell us a lot of very useful information from Ukraine, and he is, well, I love my dad, so that's why. But yeah, so that's that, and thank you all for listening and tuning in and subscribing and staying a while because that really does help Ukraine, and that makes me very happy. He is safe. He lives in Lviv, which is Western Ukraine, which is less affected than everywhere else in Ukraine. And from mod to stepmom, yeah. But yeah, also, if you are going to flirt with my dad, please make sure that you are 35 or over because I'm 28 almost, and you need to have a buffer between my age and your age. Because my dad was joking today that, that he's only going to date women younger than me. And I'm like, why don't you just date 18-year-olds? But it was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. Ukraine is an incredibly beautiful country, and I hope that I'll be able to show it to you one day. I'm waiting for my travel permit, and once I have my travel permit, I will be on the first plane to Ukraine, which rhymes. Well, I'm going to be on the first plane to Warsaw, and then I'm going to be on the first train to Ukraine. Vasil's TikTok handle. Someone please respond to Pats963 and give them Vasil's TikTok handle because it is really long. So I would rather one of the mods comment in response to you to give it to you because I feel like if I'm going to start spelling it to you, it's going to be a long time. Ja rozmawiam po polsku, ale nie bardzo ładnie. Ja rozmawiam po taką ukraińsku polsku. Ja jestem z Lwowa. Warsaw. Yeah, Warsaw. Does dad need a pool boy? No, my dad doesn't have a pool, so ładnie. Dziękuję bardzo. I feel kind of ashamed to be Russian. Well, I mean, what are you doing to not feel ashamed to be Russian, There is that thing. I'm already married, but I will consider that offer. However, I feel like my husband might mind a little bit. I think he might be a little mindful. Do you speak Spanish? Yo no hablo español, yo parlo italiano, yo capito español, ma yo no parlo español. Your dad does work with water. Yes, he does work with water, but not with pools and not with chlorine. He works with mountain water, and it's clean water, and it's filtered water, and it's very good water. But it's not like bottled, so you can't really buy it unless you're in Ukraine. I went to a university here. I'm not going to say the name of the university because I do not want people to look me up or find me, but I studied graphic design and psychology, and I have a Bachelor of Arts and I have a Bachelor's of Liberal Arts. So I have a double major, psych and graphic design. Where are you living now? I am living in New York City for the past 11 years. How did you learn Polish? I am from Lviv, which is very close to Polish border. Me and my parents speak fluent Polish, and we used to go to Poland all the time. I also used to go skiing to Zakopane every winter, which is one of my favorite places in the world, and I'm really looking forward to being able to come back there with my family one day, as in like with my personal family, you know. And yeah, that's why I speak Polish. Can I insert the tip in? Can I insert the tip in and maybe the No, you can't. You know, here's the thing. The men that come into here and think that they're being so funny by writing these disgusting things, it's like, I am so sorry that you legitimately feel the need to go behind your anonymous profile and comment disgusting, derogatory sexual things on a woman's page because you fully understand that you wouldn't be able to speak to a woman in real life because none would listen to you. That's not something that makes you sound funny. That's not something that makes me irritated. That's not something that makes me feel uncomfortable. That's something that should make you feel uncomfortable. Because to be fair, sir, gosh, that must be a really miserable existence, and I'm really sorry for you. But you know, you do you. Because that's the only thing you can do, right? Because no woman will do you. Are you an only child? Yes, but my family dynamic was so that me and my aunt grew up like sisters. Thomas on the left. Hi, good evening. I flew into Warsaw 12th of March and went to Kyiv. I was with the territorial defense, came back in mid-May. Hi, thank you for doing that. How did you get into territorial defense? Are you a foreigner? How was that experience for you? Hi, Misho. Thank you for following. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, so, also known as the hot dad. Oh, you're so funny, Yulia. Well, thank you. I do, if I do say so myself, I do prefer to think that I'm very funny, but you know, sometimes I don't know why people find me funny. Are we done with the news? No, well, we weren't done with the news. We do still have 73 updates, but today is quite of a different live than normal, isn't it? It's more of a chit chat rather than a news live, and it's been interrupted so many times. But yeah, so for all of those of you who don't follow me, please consider following me, because normally I do sit here and deliver news about Ukraine. I do also rant a lot. If you like, you know, a woman going crazy and basically putting trolls in their places, Russians in their places, uninformed people in their places, misinformed people in their places, ignorant people in their places. If you like somebody who likes debating and has been told by everybody they've met before that I need to be a trial lawyer, a litigation lawyer, because it is quite hard to argue me, because, you know, if I need to prove a point, I will find every source of information available on the planet, and I will argue the case. So if anybody is interested in that, please follow me. You know, we do really like spreading quality information in here, and we do also really like to have fun. We also have such lawyer vibes. Well, thank you. I was actually considering, before the pandemic, I was considering going to law school, because I was like, you know what? I might want to do that and actually change my career path and become a lawyer. And I was thinking I would take immigration cases as pro bono cases, because I would really want to help people who can't afford a lawyer to have good quality legal defense, but or legal counsel. But I then decided that, you know what, I do like my job, and it does combine creativity and logic. And while I know that I would be probably quite useful in a courtroom, I also know that I would go crazy, because I do need a job where I can be equally as creative as I can be logical, and that is UX design for me, or UX UI design, and I do like my job. So there is that. And I also do yeah, exactly, so charity work on the side. And I do think that I'm going to take I think I'm going to take a couple of courses. Like I'm going to sit in on lectures. I want to do like Harvard and Yale law schools. And they do offer those programs where you just get like sort of a course certificate. So I do want to take a couple of law classes because I'm just very interested. And yeah. And actually, when I was, so someone handed me an LSAT book and they were showing me basically, they were like, oh, I don't understand why the answer is A, not B, or why the answer is C, not D, because like, I don't know, for whatever reason, or what do you think the answer is? And I actually got most of them right because just like the way that LSAT works, my brain is wired the way that it's easy for me to understand like these logical questions in LSAT. So yeah, that was interesting. That was very, very interesting. And I'm going to once again ask, please tap the screen if you can. And please interact with the live. Comments are very appreciated. I have a Ukrainian American contact. Google me. What do you mean? I'm not really sure what that means. I first saw Vasily reporting, did you just fall? Beside the train bombings, excellent content. Yeah. Official thinking, critical thinking skills. Yeah. So it was like one of those things, but LSAT is like, it tests like a very specific kind of. LSAT is interesting. It's like you either get it or it's very hard for you to get it, and it's just very interesting. I don't know, but I really enjoyed LSAT. A lot of people were saying that they really didn't enjoy it because it was like weird for them, and it was just like it doesn't make any sense, and the logic there is skewed and weird. But I actually do really like it. I don't know. LSAT is like, for me, it was very cool. So yeah, so there is that. There is that. Okay, well, shall we finish with the last 73 updates that we do have on here? Because that is a lot of updates. Or do we break them down to tomorrow and just hang out for today? Because I feel like, I don't know if at this point you guys are ready to keep doing the news, or are you more on like a chill vibe, I guess. I have to imagine your LSAT score was in the high 170s. Well, so actually I didn't count my score because what I did do is like I took the prep book and I just did most of the book basically, and most of it came out to be right. So I don't know what my LSAT score is, but I did really enjoy the prep book. So that's what I did. But I do want to take an LSAT. I really, 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 really want to take an LSAT. Honestly, I want to test my knowledge. Okay. Updates, please, news. Okay, so the general consensus is that everybody wants to keep hearing the news about Ukraine, so that's what we're going to do. And in the spirit of Allo меня слышно? Yes. In the spirit of basically, usually for those of you here who are new, what we're gonna do is we usually play music before we start the updates, but obviously we started the updates before, way before, so we're not gonna do that. But normally we do discover a new Ukrainian song daily. What is the best advice you've ever received? You can move mountains if you want to. You just need to want. And my mom always says, actually, one of the best advice that I've ever received in my life is something my mom says very often. She says, the person who wants is looking for opportunities. The person who doesn't is looking for excuses. So that's my life mantra. If you want to do something, you're looking for opportunities to accomplish it. It's basically like, if he wanted to, he would, right? But it's more of like for everyone and for all people. It's more like not generalized to men and relationships. It's more of like about everything in your life. If you want to, you will look for opportunities. If you don't, you will look for excuses of why you can't. So there is that. And that's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received in my life. And I live by it. So there you go. What is my favorite Ukrainian movie? Oh, wow. I don't have a favorite Ukrainian movie. I don't have a favorite movie in general, but I'm very, 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 very much waiting forward to Mavka. I really am waiting forward to the cartoon called Mavka, because Mavkas are very cool creatures that live in forests in Ukraine, according to legends, and they're like a folk creature, and they're very awesome. And they're doing a cartoon that literally looks very Disney-like. literally just as good of quality as Disney, and it's going to be a cartoon, and it doesn't have, a princess that's stolen by a prince and waits for her loved one to come pick her up and swoop her off her feet or something like that. No, it's literally an amazing cartoon about a badass woman. Right out of the live again. Oh no, how long in the US? 11 years. Okay, so we're going to continue with the updates. Hi, Inger Makama. Hello. Servant. How accurate is the TV show Servant of the People? Well, not really accurate, right? Because it's a teacher became president because somebody posted a rant online. What this TV show was meant for is to say that an ordinary citizen could be a better president than politicians because they're not as skewed or biased and they know what's happening and they're the victims of the political system. And that was a direct, comedy satire. Well, it is a political cabaret and it is a political satire. It was basically like Zelensky warming the people up to him running for president. But so yes, if you guys can tap the screen, if you guys can interact with the live, that will help tremendously. And I'm going to continue reading the news. And if you have any questions that you want me to answer, please drop them in the Q&A right here, I think it is. And I will answer them right swiftly when I finish reading the news. Okay, because we're never going to get through the news otherwise. Good morning. Hi, Indonesia. Okay, so Mikhailo Podolyak named 3 components for a turning point in the war with Russia. 1. HIMARS allow you to accurately destroy rare bases and logistics. Heavy artillery along the front line allows you to match quantity by quantity parity. Armored vehicles for breakthrough fists. More tools will soon clean up the Russians, wrote Podolyak. Trump says the war in Ukraine could have been avoided if we had won the 2020 election. God, sir, oh my gosh, Trump, honey, literally, I don't understand. If you were the one who set this up, you were the one who legitimately blackmailed Zelensky to give you compromising information on Biden, and you were blackmailing the men and you were withholding the weapons, how would you have helped? How would the war have been avoided? You would have literally given the Ukraine, give Ukraine up to Russia, right? Okay. We are the state that allowed Russia to devastate Ukraine, killing thousands of people. And the situation will only get worse. Although this could not have happened if the elections had been held differently, Trump argued. We could reach an agreement, but we wouldn't even have to do it. Nothing would have happened. The ex-president of the United States believes. Yeah, right. Okay, so you and your little meddling while you and your team of lawyers were on the phone with the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, kind of blackmailing him, withholding weapons from him, and basically kind of saying that Putin is a genius, right? Yeah, seems right. Seems about right. You would have avoided the war in Ukraine by literally submitting Ukraine to Putin. Sure. Ukrainian armed forces yesterday shot down a helicopter of the Russian occupation troops. Invaders, after 4 months, decided to bury the elderly who were shot by Russian tankers in a nursing home. Back in March, the Russians simply drove up a tank, put it in front of the house, and started shooting until they killed everyone. It was then impossible to get to the place of the tragedy. The invaders seized the territory. The enemy did not give an evacuation corridor either before the execution or after. Now, 4 months later, the invaders, who are completely to blame for this tragedy, have staged a demonstrative burial of 31 victims of the shelling of the Kremensk nursing home in Luhansk. The number of people killed in a missile strike on the city of Chasiv Yar has risen to 11. Russian troops are withdrawing equipment from Mariupol towards the front line, advisor to the mayor, Petro Andrushenko. So yesterday after lunch, a large convoy of vehicles marked V and 5 vehicles with the military went towards Berdyansk. The convoy also included a part of military equipment from storage sites in Mariupol. More than 100 dead and about 200 wounded. Arostovich commented on the attacks of the invaders in a warehouse in Novokakhovka. Yeah, так, Ukraina. Все буде Ukraina. It is already known about 15 dead in the city of Chasiv Yar, Donetsk region, state emergency service. 5 people were rescued from the rubble. Previously, 24 more people, including 1 child, may be under the rubble. It is reported that the armed forces of Ukraine attacked the military base of the invaders in Kherson. We are waiting for official confirmation. Ukraine's victory is good for the whole world. Senior advisor to the U.S. Congress, Paul Massaro. Ukrainian victory is good for Ukrainians, good for Russians, good for Europeans, good for Americans, good for the whole world, he wrote. A video appeared on the network which allegedly shows complexes for launching Tochka-U missiles in the vicinity of Luhansk, the very ones that supposedly are not in service with the Russian Federation. Right, because we do believe everything they say, right? According to the European war experts, Russian troops advanced north of Seversk, capturing the village of Hrigorivka. According to some reports, they reached the outskirts of the village of Serebryanka. It is also reported that any units of the armed forces of Ukraine that were located east of Stary Saltov and the Seversky Donets River retreated to their previously occupied positions. We are waiting for official confirmation from the General Staff. The title of the strongest man in the world for the second time in a row was received by a Ukrainian strongman Alexei Novikov. Novikov became the champion of the International Strongman Classic competitions held in London. Russian military aviation flights intensified in Belarus. All Russian Il-76 planes flew to the military airfield in Il-76 planes flew to the military airfield in Machulishchi, not far from Minsk. Russian military disabled their military equipment to avoid being sent to war in Ukraine. So basically, individual Russian military servicemen and women, perhaps there are a couple, are disabling their military equipment in order to avoid being sent to the war in Ukraine. Canada decided to return the Russian turbine for the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline to Germany. The turbine was being serviced in Montreal, and Gazprom called it the reason for the reduction in the volume of gas pumped to Europe. It is expected that tomorrow Nord Stream will stop pumping completely for 10 days due to maintenance. Whether it will work after that is unknown. The German authorities have announced the development of an emergency plan for this case. Germany has blocked a package of EU assistance to Ukraine in the amount of 9 billion euros, writes the Italian edition of Corriere della Sera. According to the publication, the German authorities have been blocking the allocation of another tranche of EU aid to Ukraine for more than a month. Berlin approved only the first tranche of 1 billion euros. According to the Corriere della Sera, German Finance Minister Christian Lindner is not happy that Brussels is offering to finance aid to Ukraine from the common European debt. Mi-17 helicopters donated by Slovakia are already actively used by our military on the territory of Ukraine. On the video preliminary, the volcanic eruption in the Kuril Island, Russia. So there has been a volcanic eruption on the Kuril Island in Russia, which, you know, even nature is against this mother effing country. Joe Biden will travel to the Middle East to negotiate with Arab leaders on the supply of Soviet weapons to Ukraine. U.S. officials have urged other countries to provide remaining stockpiles of Soviet-made weapons with which Ukrainians are more familiar, an item on Biden's agenda for a trip to the Middle East next week, according to the outlet. Also, the publication citing the words of Ivo H. Dalder, president of the Chicago Council on Global Affairs and former U.S. ambassador to NATO, writes, "In the next 6 months, we will find that one or both sides are too tired and will look for a way out." More than 20 people were injured in Spain in 3 days of running with bulls. The traditional San Fermin festival is now held there. That is about world news, and that is the fact that there are still street fights with bulls and stuff like that is quite ridiculous to me. Yeah. Russia's crimes against Ukrainian medical institutions. At least 78 people have died due to Russian shelling and obstruction of aid. 462 medical institutions have been shelled so far during 352 attacks. Russian troops also steal medical equipment and threaten medical staff with guns. Map of HIMARS strikes to support the invaders. Over the past weeks, there were about 30 hits on the invaders' warehouses. View from the cockpit of the Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter. This is how the Ukrainian land looks through the eyes of our pilots on the Tactical Aviation Brigades of the West Air Command. Come on. In Chasiv Yar, another person was pulled out from under the rubble. In total, since the beginning of the work, the bodies of 15 dead have been found and 6 people have been rescued. There are 23 more people under the rubble, including a child. The rescue continues. Russian websites without HTTPS are inserted with war propaganda. The Insider. According to the publication, almost all Russian mobile operators and some wire internet providers replace traffic in such a way as to insert contextual advertising with materials justifying the war with Ukraine on sites that are not protected by the HTTPS encryption protocol. It is noted that the sites on the HTTPS protocol function normally, since it is impossible to introduce foreign code into them from the operator's side. It is noted that such advertising with war propaganda was before, but it was commerce and with the consent of users. Now news about the war is inserted without the knowledge of the site owner, which is some sort of a breach of privacy, but does Russia care? No, it does not. Also, please, guys, tap the live. Please, please, please. I know your fingers are tired, but that does really help. In Kryvyi Rih, 20-year-old Ukrainian Daria Kurdel, a multiple winner of international dance sports competitions, died from a Russian missile strike. At the time of the shelling, she and her father, who's now in the hospital, were training on the sports ground. Daria died in the intensive care unit. Her father remains under medical supervision. Ukraine urged Canada to not succumb to the Kremlin's blackmail and cancel the decision on the turbine. The Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine are deeply disappointed with the decision of the government of Canada to issue permission for the return to Germany of turbines repaired by Siemens Canada for Nord Stream 1, both ministries said in a statement. This dangerous precedent goes against the rule of law and will have only one consequence: to reinforce Moscow's sense of impunity, the statement said. The ministries also note that the transfer of the Nord Stream 1 turbine will allow Russia to continue using energy as an instrument of a hybrid war against Europe. France is preparing for a complete cessation of Russian gas supplies. France receives only 17% of its gas from Russia. Therefore, a plan is being developed to completely phase out Russian gas. According to French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire, cutting off supplies right now would be a problem, as many nuclear reactors are under maintenance. Ukrainian Marines are working in conjunction with British mastiffs. Video presented by the Public Relations Service of the Navy of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Here is what that looks like. Thank you, Nick. Yesterday's 26th strike in Chornobyivka resulted in elimination of 12 more senior Russian officers, generals and colonels, in addition to those 10 that were killed and wounded a little to the north in Novokakhovka. Also in Chornobyivka, a command post and ammunition depot and several dozen pieces of equipment of the invaders were destroyed. HIMARS have changed the rules of the game, but the war is grim, Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov. HIMARS allowed Ukraine to attack Russian forces in Izum, but the war is grim. We need more. We need it urgently. Reznikov was quoted as saying by the Wall Street Journal. 124 cases of sexual violence recorded during Russia's war in Ukraine. This was reported by the UN Special Representative for Sexual Violence in Conflict, Pramila Patten. And this, according to her, is just the tip of the iceberg and does not reflect the scale of sexual violence in the context of the Russian war against Ukraine, since such cases are difficult to identify and investigate. First, survivors of sexual abuse often hide it. Secondly, it is impossible to access the scale of crimes of this nature committed in Ukraine, since there are too many of them. Thirdly, some citizens do not have the physical ability to report the incident to law enforcement officers because more than 20% of the territories of Ukraine are temporarily occupied. Russian helicopters and planes have not flown into the airspace over the territory controlled by the armed forces of Ukraine for more than 2.5 months. Due to the successful actions of Ukrainian air defense, Russian aviation operates from outside the territory controlled by Ukraine. Today, the armed forces of Ukraine destroyed several ammunition depots of the invaders in the Kherson region, as well as in other parts of the occupied territories. The invaders shelled the Donetsk region today. There are dead and wounded. The head of the region, Pavlo Kyrylenko. Address of Volodymyr Zelensky. A missile strike at the city of Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region. Everyone who gives orders for such strikes, everyone who carries them out, targeting our ordinary cities, residential areas, kills absolutely deliberately. Here is what I'm going to show you. So, okay, before I show you the speech of Volodymyr Zelensky, because it is 3 minutes, I will read you the rest of the news, and then I will show you the speech of Zelensky for tonight. So, Scorpions continue to support Ukraine. This time, the frontman of the band at a concert in Tel Aviv walked across the stage with the Ukrainian flag, expressed words of support, and sang the modified song "Wind of Change." British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss announced her candidacy for the post of leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister. At the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, a provocation with the participation of Russian media. Armed Russians forced the NPP management to allow propagandists to the control panel of one of the power units and give an interview on camera. In this regard, in the near future, Russian TV may release a story about the allegedly successful operation on the station under Russian control. Following Russia, Belarus is to default due to the decision to pay Eurobonds not in dollars but in Belarusian rubles to accounts in Belarus Bank. Fitch rating agency. Protests in Sri Lanka may be related to Russia's blockade of Ukrainian grain, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. What we are seeing around the world is growing food insecurity, which is greatly exacerbated by the Russian aggression against Ukraine. We see the impact of this Russian aggression manifesting itself everywhere. This may have influenced the situation in Sri Lanka. We are concerned about the consequences around the world. He also mentioned Thailand, where fertilizer prices have risen significantly due to the same blockade. So here is also the speech of Volodymyr Zelensky, which is going to be the last news I have for today, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. Let me just organize everything so you guys can see it well. Mirror your video. There we go. Oh, sorry. I'm going to do it like that, and then I'm going to take the camera. Okay, one sec, sorry. Okay, is it visible for everybody? Is that good?
Українки. Всі наші захисники і захисниці сьогодні увесь день отримують звіти з міста Часів Яр на Донеччині. Там продовжується рятувальна операція. Після російського удару по житлових будинках зруйновані 2 багатоповерхівки. Під завалами десятки людей, 6 вдалося врятувати. У списку загиблих 15 прізвищ, і, на жаль, це не остаточне число. Це був ракетний удар. І кожен, хто віддає накази на такі удари, кожен, хто їх здійснює по звичайним нашим містам, по житловим районам, вбиває абсолютно усвідомлено. Після таких ударів вбивці не зможуть сказати, що чогось не знали або щось не розуміли. Усі, хто здійснив цей обстріл, інші ракетні удари, усі, хто б'є по наших містах з реактивної артилерії, як на Харківщині, на Запоріжжі, як по Кривому Рогу, як по Сіверську і Вугледару на Донеччині. Знаєте, нацистські вбивці знаходять і судять навіть тоді 90 чи 100 років по всьому світу. Звісно, ми не хочемо чекати так довго, але я наводжу цей приклад, щоб показати, що покарання невідворотне для кожного російського вбивці, для кожного абсолютно. Так само, як і для нацистів. І хай вони не сподіваються, що їхня держава буде їх захищати. Росія першою ж їх кине, коли зміняться політичні обставини. Від початку цього вторгнення українські правоохоронці роблять все, що необхідно для фіксації злочинів окупантів і для збору доказів. До цієї роботи залучені наші партнери з багатьох держав. Російський терор давно перетнув ту межу, за якою багатьом в цивілізованому світі стало очевидно, що це питання глобальної безпеки – покарати Росію, державу-терориста, за все зроблено нею проти України і міжнародного правопорядку. І маємо графіку на найближчі тижні саме такі переговори і звернення, які сприятимуть відновленню справедливості, сприятимуть покаранню російських воєнних злочинців. Причому ця активність направлена не тільки на Європу та інші традиційні регіони для роботи української дипломатії. Зробимо все, щоб і в Латинській Америці, і в Азії, і в Африці чули правду про російський терор на нашій землі. На тижні, що минає, багато говорили про нібито оперативну паузу в діях окупантів на Донбасі та в інших частинах України. 34 нальоти російської авіації за одну минулу добу – це відповідь усім тим, хто придумав цю паузу. Українська армія тримається міцно, відбиває штурми на різних напрямках, але, звичайно, потрібно зробити ще дуже багато, щоб російські втрати стали такими, після яких дійсно буде пауза. Причому пауза не перед новими наступами окупантів, а перед їх втечею з нашої української рідної землі. Я вдячний усім нашим бійцям, які забезпечують наближення цього часу. Це так само невідворотне, як і покарання для окупантів, але треба триматись, треба битись разом на всіх фронтах зараз, і на політичному, і на інформаційному, і на економічному, ніде не проявляючи слабкості. В цій війні ми можемо вистояти тільки спільно, абсолютно всі, кожен українець, кожна українка. Слава усім, хто захищає нашу рідну державу. Слава Україні!
Okay, I'm back. Let me just be back on YouTube as well. This is pretty back. So that was the last piece of information that I had for today in terms of news about Ukraine. Zelensky is amazing. All of his speeches are incredibly inspiring. And yeah. Also, so here's something that I wanted to talk about that's a little different. But you know how I used to do fundraisers? A couple of weeks ago, my dad, or about a month ago, my dad had asked me to do a fundraiser for his employee who's currently on the front lines, and he's driving a medical vehicle that saves the lives of soldiers and saves the lives of civilians and saves the lives of everybody. And that vehicle drives at night mostly, and it can't drive with lights on because Russians will spot it and Russians will take it out. So they needed a night vision, like a gadget that helps you see at night without having to turn your lights on. Now, because there were a lot of fundraisers going on and there were a lot of things going on, I did not want to basically, again, I have the same audience, right? So I can't like consistently keep asking the same audience for donations. I am going to talk to John Aravosis, and I'm going to try to do a fundraiser with him, because what my dad ended up doing is my dad has some savings. They are not a lot, especially in American terms, and especially for somebody who lives at war and doesn't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But he basically took a large chunk of his savings, and which was about 4,500 euros. I don't know what that is in American dollars. And he gave it to the guy to buy a night vision. What's it called? Basically, the thing that helps the ambulance see at night. And I know that my dad can't afford it. I know he can't afford it. And I know that he just basically gave it because he said that the guys need it now and they can't wait for me to have a fundraiser and and at some point get the amount of money. So he just basically gave what he had. No, they're not goggles. They're they are like it's like a monitor that you put on the car. You basically you have to hold it, and you have to put it straight, and then you see the roads and stuff like that. Those are not necessarily goggles. They're like a monitor thing, I think. He gave them enough money for a stand for the monitor and for the monitor. But I would really like to do a fundraiser and raise the money for that monitor and maybe another monitor for a vehicle, because there is not one vehicle. It's just that my dad's former employee is the one driving that particular vehicle. But I'm going to try and talk to John Aravosis and maybe Aaron Parnas and do a combined fundraiser, because I'm pretty sure my dad emptied his savings to do that. And I would really like to try and raise that money back, because he has been giving a lot of money to the army. And this was sort of like a gesture of oh my gosh, well, these guys these guys are gonna die, I have to do this. But at the same time, I don't know what to do about that. I really was just I'm quite at a loss of words. And I feel like if every single person of Aravosis and Aaron's audience gave $5, we could buy enough monitors, or even $1. Literally, Aaron what has 1.2 million people following him, and he has about 1,000 people in his lives. $1 is $1,000. So maybe we could raise enough money to not just buy one monitor, or one night vision thing, but buy a few. And yeah, but that news kind of shook me today. Yeah, I do. My PayPal is in my link in bio. If you scroll down, I have a thing, but my PayPal is yuleadesign@gmail.com. So that's my PayPal address, and so that's something that I wanted to share and I wanted to discuss, because I am incredibly just, I don't know. I found that out today, and my dad is an amazing man, and I'm really grateful for everything he does. But I also know that 4,500 euros is not something that he can take out and donate to the army by himself without putting himself at an incredible detriment. And he has been basically cut up in a lot of. My dad supplies water. His business is water. So he has been supplying water to multiple cities in order to keep citizens, hydrated, because water is important. And he hasn't been charging war zones for water. So he has been losing a lot of money on his business. He has also been having to buy having to do much larger quantities of water at the same time, so that requires a lot more upfront payments. And I know that he is not he's not he can't he can't do that. he can't do that, and he has been helping the army since 2014, and he is great. And I am like, I'm sure he did that because he's an amazing man, and I know my dad, and he just wants our country to win, and he just wants Russians out of our country. But it's also fucking insane from one person who does not make enough money to donate 4,500 euros. So yeah, so I am just, and he did. It's not like he didn't ask me, like he didn't ask me to talk about this. He didn't ask me to do this. It's just that like I asked him how the guy was, and he was like, well, I gave him the money, and I was like, what do you mean you gave him the money? And he was like, well, they can't wait. And I was like, yeah, my dad's business is based on petrol because he does not sell bottled water. He sells water to basically like less privileged communities, because instead of paying for marketing and paying for branding and paying for all this stuff, he has a large water tank truck that comes to a community of buildings, and you come with your own like water, whatever, wherever you want to put water, and you basically pay for like the water itself, so you don't pay for any of that. And his company like filters water, and it's just a whole thing. And my dad has innovated a lot of like water industry in Ukraine. He's a very, honestly, like I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of how creative he is, and how yeah. That's just what it is. But I was just kind of like sort of at a loss of words today, so that's about it. Yeah, so that's that. I'm going to try and talk to some larger creators that I know and try to organize that fundraiser with them, so the army can be helped, because I've talked about it a little while ago. But do people in Ukraine recognize his efforts? I mean, he's not necessarily like showing his efforts, like he's not really like, I don't think anybody really knows. I don't think he's trying to showcase it. My dad is the kind of person where, I don't know, he doesn't really do things like that. What are you talking about, James? This 500 one is pretty good. Not sure it's ideal, but it's effective enough. Yeah, my dad doesn't advertise stuff like that. Like the other day when we were on the live, Max and Yulia came on the live, and they were talking about an electric scooter that was purchased for a kid by my dad. And I called him and I was like, hey, I heard that you were doing this. And he was like, please stop it. Like, you're live. Please stop it. Like, don't talk about it. And I was just like, oh, it was like a nice thing. It was like, I just wanted to, because it's like the charity foundation. And he's like, yeah, okay, talk about the charity foundation. Don't talk about me. So yeah, that's about it. Well, I mean, like the people who drive that vehicle needed like a specific piece of gear, so it's not like my dad was picking one. It's the one that they were fundraising for. So that's what my dad gave them the money for, I guess. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know how it works. That's just what I know happened. And that's what he was telling me before. I think it was like supposed to be $3,500. I think it was $3,500 that he thought it cost. But then they found the same thing, and it was 4,500 euros, or 4,500 euros. Yeah. Yeah. Armies use those things quite a lot. But so I know nothing about these things, and I was asking him for more information, and I'm gonna like try to ask him like covertly tomorrow, because anytime I ask for like information on more specific locations or like more specific about people, he's like, dude, it's the war. Like, I can't give you more specifics about it. I can show you like, I can show you the literal gadget, but I can't tell you like who the person is or where they're, where specifically in Ukraine they're located, because that's just information that shouldn't be like advertised. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy time that we live in. Oh shoot, I need to renew my driver's license. It expires next month. It expires on my birthday, and I just remembered it, and I probably need to go on the DMV website, and I need to renew it. Okay, guys, it's 1:09 in the morning, and it was a pretty long and pretty interesting live, and I think I need to go. I need to go to sleep. Well, I need to go feed and walk Cindy, and I need to go to sleep. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for keeping up with me and Vasil. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, please give me a chance. If you like YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, and we're like 20 subscribers away from 1,000, which would help me a lot because I'd be able to monetize it, and I'd be able to also donate to Ukraine for monetization, and I wouldn't have to worry about rent next month because Patreon keeps falling down and falling down. And it's okay because I understand that no one is like, no one was expecting this to be such a long adventure. But thank you very much for everybody who listens to the news every evening. And thank you for staying informed. And thank you for caring and not forgetting about Ukraine. And thank you for everything that you guys have been doing, because without you, none of this would be possible. And I just want you to know that I don't take you for granted, and none of us Ukrainians do, and that we fully recognize that we have these platforms to speak about our country, and we are able to help our country because you are here and because you care. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for caring. And you guys are amazing, and thank you. Seriously, thank you for giving Ukraine a chance to get where we are. So yeah, thank you incredibly, incredibly much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Let me get off of YouTube first, because we all know how good I am with YouTube. All right, bye guys.